Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another fantastic episode of Words Matter. This week's quote, woo, it stopped me cold the second I saw it. I was scrolling Instagram and I saw a post by poets. And I don't know who originally said it. Maybe they came up with it, but it cracked something wide open in me. You cannot use someone else's map to find yourself. Let's just sit with that, shall we? I mean, come on, think about it. How many times have you tried? Tried to follow someone else's plan, mimicked their steps, hoping their success would somehow lead to yours. Maybe it was in your health, maybe in your business, maybe in how you structured your day or shaped your life. Maybe you thought, well, they seem to have it all figured out. Maybe if I just do what they're doing, I'll figure it out too. I'll finally feel like I'm enough. But here's what I've learned the hard way. It doesn't work like that because their map isn't your map. Their steps weren't built for your terrain, and their definition of enough might not match yours at all. And like I said, I know this firsthand because for a long, long time, that was me. See, throughout my life, as I bounced from one diet to the next, I clung tight to every plan, every program, every do this, not that system I could find. I told myself I just needed to be more disciplined, more structured, more like them. You know them, the ones who they celebrate for doing it right, the ones who make it look effortless, the ones who swear this program will fix everything. It'll fix you. So I read their books, I followed their food lists, I counted, I tracked, I weighed, I measured everything I could to stay inside their lines. I tried to force myself into a shape that didn't fully fit me, convinced their way would finally make me feel whole. And you know what happened? Sure, I lost weight, but I didn't become healthy. See, I'd have a slip and I'd beat myself up for not being stronger, not being better, for not being able to just follow the plan like so many others did. I felt broken because I was being told I was. I thought it was a willpower problem. I thought I was the problem, but it wasn't. I wasn't. It was a misalignment problem, friends, an incongruency problem, because I wasn't building something that would actually work for me in my life. I was trying to live by a map that was never mine to begin with. Did it point me in the right direction? Sure. Did it provide me with a route that had been successful to others that came before me? Yep. Did it fully align with who I was and what I wanted for myself? Nope. And while I can't pinpoint a single moment where everything changed, I can tell you this. About a year into my health journey, I stopped searching for the diet that was supposed to come next after I was done with that one. And I started listening to myself. I started asking different questions. I stopped looking out for all the answers and started looking in to my answers that I already knew worked for me. And I've come to realize this since then. This isn't just a way, it's the way. Not following, not forcing, but paying attention, getting honest, creating something that actually fits how I think, how I feel, how I lead myself, how I live. And once I did that, everything changed. Not because I found the perfect plan, but because I finally created my plan, a plan that was perfect for me. And if you need a little brain science to back this up, friends, here it is. Your brain, that beautiful brain of yours, is wired to seek patterns, to recognize what feels familiar and to follow that. And that's why it's so tempting to cling to someone else's way of doing things. It gives your brain structure to grasp, especially when you're overwhelmed or uncertain. Your brain wants to conserve energy and avoid risk. So copying feels safe. But that safety, it comes at a cost. It slowly silences your own inner voice because you're so busy listening to theirs. And here's a powerful truth. Your brain is also wired for neuroplasticity. It can change, adapt, rewire, but not when you're traveling on someone else's route headed to where they are going, or worse, where they think you should go. See, real growth happens when you start showing up for yourself in ways that match your own wiring. What makes you uniquely you? And that's when new neural pathways form. That's when clarity comes. That's when you stop being an extra in someone else's story and start being the hero of your own. It's also why trying to force yourself into someone else's way of doing things can leave you feeling broken or behind when you're really just trying to function in a way that was never designed for you. You cannot use someone else's map to find yourself, because your journey isn't supposed to look like anyone else's. And the more you try to walk their path, the further you get away from yours and what's true for you. And I don't just mean in health, friends. I mean in life. Your journey is different. It's supposed to be, because your story is different. Your path, your pain, your priorities, your purpose, they're yours. And trying to shape your life by someone else's directions will never get you to where you want to go. Yeah, sure. You can admire who they are, and you can even love the view at the top of their summit. But their destination isn't your destiny. In today's quote, it's not just a reminder. It's a call to check your map. Check what direction you're heading and make sure you're heading toward what you want for yourself, and that the path that you're on is yours to walk, not someone else's. Because if you're feeling off course, stuck, unsure, maybe it's not because you're failing. Maybe it's because you're following a trail that was never meant for you. So you don't have to keep going just because you started. You're allowed to pause, to reorient, to get quiet and ask yourself, what do I want for myself? What matters to me? What steps can I take that actually feel and look like mine? That's how you find your footing again, not by pushing harder, but by coming home to yourself and what you already know to be true. So here's your challenge for this week. Look at the maps you've been using. Whose trails are you walking? And is it still serving you to do so? Or is it time you trust your own direction, even if it looks different, even if it's slower, even if no one else understands it yet? Because the most powerful path you'll ever walk, it's the one that leads you back to yourself. Friends, the words we see and read, the words we hear, and the words we say to ourselves and about ourselves, about what we're doing and how we're doing it, they all matter. Your words matter because you matter. Have a great day.